Hello and welcome, all viewers. My name is Kina Kay. I'm a native from Los Angeles, California, and I'm rocking the Latina female today. I got my black liner on my lips. Um, I'm a representative for Los Angeles, California, Chicago, Illinois, and Baltimore, Maryland. I like to reminisce a little bit. Now, you have my girl Oprah. She was all excited about Obama becoming president and she cried. And the truth of the matter is, I was just excited that it was a black president. And I didn't agree with a lot of things that was done under his administration. So when we had the option of Hillary Clinton versus Donald J. Trump, I researched Hillary, and what I found out was there was a video of a gentleman, and he was from Haiti. And if I haven't learned anything in my life, that stood out to me so much because I experienced dealing with children's court in Los Angeles. And basically, after the case was closed, because the attorney that allegedly is supposed to be representing me as the parent told me to just sign this paperwork and that it would be removed, all the negative things would be removed from the case. Well, I signed it and they pretty much closed the case. So that was my understanding uh, and knowledge and experience on attorneys and how slimy they are. Um, After that, I went down to the children's court every day for maybe more than a month. And I would protest. I would go upstairs in the building and interview the parents personally because I felt the need to find out, what the hell's really going on. I thought this children's court was for, you know, parents that were really unfit parents, and it's just not the case. So most of the parents that I asked, did they feel they, needed to be here? They all stated pretty much no. And the ones that either were scared or just didn't want to be involved, they didn't say anything. Um, I witnessed, or I got testimony from uh, one lady that there's cases where a person can just keep calling on you and they'll just keep coming out and, re-harassing you, reopening cases. And there's just no sensible, um, there's no sense to the workers. They don't use their sense. And it's probably because they don't have any. I'm not sure. Um, Maybe they don't know how to do their job. They don't care. Um, so that was a fact. There was also another lady that I interviewed, and she stated that there was a child that pretty much stripped his clothes off. He was he was young, um, maybe a little over 5 or a little under 5 or 5 years of age, and he stripped his clothes off, and he was just really wigging out and being very traumatized and traumatic. And, if they don't understand that, I don't know what will. Uh, my take on this is that the people in power, attorneys, judges, politicians, they are putting themselves in a position where they want to have all the policing jobs and the firefighting jobs, and they keep themselves on top. And while doing that, they are um, attacking the common folk, the middle class. And what I mean by that is if you're constantly um, attacking and traumatizing these people constantly and allowing for all the killings to continue to go on with no real change whatsoever. Because I tell you this, when Obama said he was going to make change, I was expecting some goddamn change, and I didn't get any. So I said, I want my goddamn change. And the next thing I know, so basically, I would protest outside. I brought a picture of both my sons, and I also researched things. And 12 kids were actually killed in their care. And the only thing they did was have the lead person of that organization come out and say how they would do better. If that's the case, why the hell can a parent come to court and show you that they can do better and you come and do supervised visits with them? Now, another thing I recognized is that they actually take kids from parents that are functional. There's no rule or law saying that someone that suffered from mental illness cannot have their kids. If you are not a threat to yourself and other people, that's the only way it makes sense to me. If a child ain't starving to death, if a child ain't, constantly being mentally, emotionally abused, raped, uh, fondled, and whatnot. But the fact of the matter is, when I came to Western New York, actually before, I actually spoke to a great attorney, and I told her I was ready to fight the power. I was actually ready for war. Like I wanted to start a goddamn civil war. Okay? And what I couldn't understand was why the hell are these other parents not doing the same thing? Like, they just gonna take this shit? And that's when I named the children's court the Devil's Playground. And I said they messed with the wrong good parent. What I found out in Los Angeles from this good attorney, she asked me, "Are you sure you know what you up against? You know, there's actually judges that have girlfriends that are adopting these kids and they molesting them too." So like I said, when I came to Western New York, there was actual documentation on a judge that had all types of child pornography in his possession. And guess what? They didn't do shit about it. So the fact of the goddamn matter is, these cocksuckers, to my mind, have not only been tearing down the community and keeping the people broken so they don't have a chance to even think about being successful because you're too goddamn worried about the fucking problems they delivering. Furthermore, Furthermore, they sealed the cases up for nobody to see. And this is what they're doing to children. And I believe 100% they have something to do with sex trafficking as well. Far as the judge that I had proof about and him having child pornography, um, when I went back to try to pull that information up, they removed it, as they do all the time when I find dirt on them. Now, that was the case with Hillary. When I saw that one male individual, wonderful gentleman, at the White House protesting by himself like I do, game recognized game. That man was serious. And that's when I knew that what he was saying about Hillary Clinton, stealing the money that everybody from America and all over the world had provided for them when they had the big disaster, that she just stole the money. That's when I knew it was true. Why in the hell was somebody from Haiti be in America protesting in front of the White House by themselves? People like that is the only people do that is people like me. Because everybody else sleeping. Everybody else don't care. And yes, I am the great child advocate and activist and everything else under the sun and judge. Because these judges ain't got no act right. They covering up too much shit. Now, I like to speak about another person from Western New York. This fine gentleman had a wonderful wife that had certain medical issues, and he took wonderful care of her. But because she had an accident at an early age and was in a coma, and it would affect her for the rest of her life, she was awarded so many millions of dollars. Now, this gentleman's husband did not care about money because he came into the picture paying for attorneys to help her in her situation because she cried out for help because the attorneys was all up in the mix, buying houses in their name. And the parents are so hungry, they the ones got it in court. That's something that's wrong with society. You're better off if you're married and whatnot. Try to settle out of court. Get a mediator. Do something. Use your sense. Don't give your money to the attorneys. They are the slimiest damn profession out in the world, especially in America. So he paid out his pocket. He got jumped by her brothers, and he suffered facial bones broken and stuff. He went through hell and back for her without that money, and he eventually married her and took care of her and loved her to life. And he would go to court all the time because the courts always wanted to be involved because, you know, they want a piece of the pie. And that's what he would do. He would work his own business or run his own business while taking her to court, taking care of her, cooking and doing everything. You know, that whole one woman's band like myself, he's a one man's band. He can do it all. And basically, they wanted to put a guardian over her. And he objected because he knows his shit. And so they had her, go do some tests or something to make sure, whatnot, all the bullshit so everything could be in their favor. Well, it turned out that she didn't need a guardian. So guess what? They turned around and negotiated with him, I believe it was 1 year, to just be a guardian for 1 year. And not only did they do that, they also gave him another client. They gonna pimp the fuck out of him. And all for free. He had to be an accountant to keep up with where the money was going. Under the court rules with the attorneys and the judges. Mm-hmm. And they had to change courts a couple times. And then after the year, they wanted him to continue to keep this guardianship thing going on, and he refused. He refused, and they turned around and put some other guardian over her, and they would come up with these certain fees that she had to pay every year, and they were in the thousands. After that, I guess some years had passed, and he finally had a fuck enough, and I don't blame him. So he moved to, I think it was North Carolina or South Carolina, and he told them people, and I mean the court system, and they act like they was going to do something and protect him or whatever the case was and try to help him through his tragic experience. So they move, and on their drive, they actually ran into George Jefferson. I think it's George, the comedian. And he was the mayor of his state. And the wife was so excited to meet him. She was just so excited. But anywho, they moved there. And let me tell you about these cocksuckers, the judges and the attorneys. They came from the state of New York and traveled to North or South Carolina to come and take her back to the Western New York, which is kidnapping. And then they turned around and changed the law so that they can get a divorce from her husband without properly having it done. And the last thing I remember was they asked him, did he want, any of that money? Because he's entitled, he was married to her, and all this stuff. And he did like a real player like myself. He said no. He didn't want a dime. So there you have it. The judges are corrupt. And they keep sealing stuff that shouldn't be sealed. They don't have the right and they don't have the authority. We saw it all play out in the Smollett case. Every bit of it was illegal. Now I'd like to talk about Andrew Cuomo. He is the most corrupt governor in the United States. He's done all kind of illegal things. He hasn't taken accountability. The people act like they're afraid of him or something. I've been on chats, chatting with people at times, and he's with the mob. Like, come again? Anywho, he's done all kinds of illegal things. Now back to the Hillary option and the President Donald J. Trump option. When I researched President Donald J. Trump at the time, I found out some pretty spectacular things and it was very interesting. And I loved what he had going on. He said that if America needed him, he would be there. He would run for president. And I took that very serious, along with the rest of what he's accomplished in life. To me, he is the American dream. And I don't care that he inherited something from his father. What makes it great is that not only did he inherit it, he actually did something productive and positive, and it evolved to something much more better and great. There are so many people that come across money and they just blow through it. They have nothing to show for it. And that is what's wrong with today's society, especially in my community. They can't even keep their family's legacy going. They're ready to sell the house off and just, splurge because they think they're on some baller type shit. They ain't on no player, a baller type shit. They fools. I got a good example. I got a friend named Ernest Winters. And when I visited California last time, he wanted to brag about how he went through $100,000. You can't tell no woman that been working hard all her goddamn life and trying to do so much to help people all her goddamn life some shit like that. That's total disrespect and disregard. Considering when your mother was sick from cancer and nobody washed her, who was there? It was me in that shower washing her, not your girlfriend. She was too busy disrespecting her and cussing in front of her. So, not only did he do that, he turned around and told me that he blew another $100,000. And mind you, he lived in the Culver City Hills at the top of that bitch. Living fabulous. Mother worked for the aircraft, Boeing, making telephones and shit. Creating legacies, working hard, putting them through all kinds of wonderful karate schools and the best of the best. But this dumb fool want to go to the ghetto and hang out and want to be, willing and dealing and all that stupid stuff. So I went the hell off on him that day. Because you're not going to disrespect me and people like me and act ignorant. I don't got time for that. Then there was a point in time where I think that he was thinking about doing a reverse, I think it's not reverse mortgage, whichever one it is for old folks. Basically, you have to pay it off once they pass. I advised him, do not do that. If your place is paid, just leave it alone. Did he listen? Hell no. That's my understanding. I'm not sure if that's the case, but that's what it seemed like. So the least I did was get up in they mix, because that's my family. And I showed them this place. I even, I think the place was 70,000. I talked them down to like 40, and the banks was actually considering my offer. But when we went there, and it was sort of on the east side of LA, my folks, my closest folk to my heart was acting bougie and all that, and I'm not getting out of the car. Well, I wasn't saying that you need the place for you to live in. You get the place as an income property, And you just have something, so you can at least have something to show when you have access to that money. So it wasn't that I was saying, hey, you need to stay here. It was just that. So that individual stayed in the car. And I went out with Ernest, and we went and looked at the place. And that was that. The moral of the story is, when somebody has good advice and they're trying to help you and make sure you make good decisions, but they don't listen, they ain't got nobody but themselves to blame. Because at the end of the day, he ain't got no pot to piss in, and he don't own no property. So out of $200,000, you bragging to me for what? Stupidity at its finest. Stupidity at its finest. And that I am not proud of, coming from my community. I'm looking for my change. Back to matters at hand. President Donald J. Trump. Now, yes, I found out about him saying he would be there for America if it was needed. And I saw that he, went to the Catholic Church, and he, he did those things, and he just, pretty much evolved throughout his life. But I don't know him from that television show. I knew him from the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad. That book right there. That's how I knew him. So when you add that up with the research that I did, he was a fine candidate. And like I said, Oprah cried for Obama. Me? Oh, I was crying for Trump because I was happy than a mother. I was so happy. I was happy as hell. I just knew he was going to do some great stuff. And I was crying, and I got so excited. I looked at my honey, and I was like, that's my husband. And he didn't say nothing. Shoot, that gave me the go ahead. I was all on the page talking about, that's my husband. And that's my husband. And go husband. And I did all that. And I went and smoked a cigar to celebrate because I was happy as hell. And as time went on, he had a messenger thing on Facebook, but I guess when he was talking about ICE and going after the illegals, which I stand for 100%. America. Yeah, let's make America great again. Can we get a little bit of that action? So, yeah. Next thing you know, here go Andrew Cuomo with his big mouth ass. Goddamn. I can't stand that dude. But he opens his big mouth and he says that he's going to take all the information for the illegal immigrants and destroy it. So you know what I did? I went on my husband page, Donald J. Trump, and I messaged him that Cuomo was going to get rid of all the names. And after I did that, somebody took Messenger off of his page. Boy, that's funny. But yeah, that's what had occurred. And I still am a big Trump supporter and American supporter, because it doesn't make sense that they have more privilege, attorneys ready to fight for them, and all this stuff that our government employees have to work at the border, put them through the court system, all this alleged they're taking their children. That stuff was going on in Obama's administration. You better get it right. That wasn't Trump's problem. That was Obama's problem. And he didn't do nothing but make it worse. He gave them driver's license. All you need is a driver's license to become a citizen with a couple other things in California. So, yeah, they was trying to pass the buck on him, but no, that's not the case. We need our wall. And the Democrats right now, with the liberals, are obstructing justice. They're having things that the president, the chief and commander, is doing and sending it to a judge. This the same shit they doing in New York, big time. Okay, they don't like something, they just go give it to another judge. So they go give it to a judge. When in the hell do a judge have more authority than the commander in chief? What in under the rainbow bullshit is this? So they took, they're just doing their own thing, you know. And Hillary, where do I start? She's done so many different illegal things. She's broken international laws. She's stolen money. She works very well with Andrew Cuomo because, she was a senator in the state of New York. She didn't do nothing. She had emissaries and dignitaries spied on, which is against national law. How about that? And to steal money.
International law.
Aaron, I take that back. She broke international law. So then you had Hillary Clinton pay a UK spy that worked for our FBI money to pull dirt up on Trump. And he turned around and gave that information to Russia, which I'm sure they turned around and gave it to WikiLeaks. And that is that. Slam dunk. How you like those cookies? So then you had the Democratic Party so upset they couldn't accept the fact that he won, and they wanted an investigation. They even handpicked the person to do the investigation. And when they got their answer, they couldn't accept that either. They want classified information to be open. And that's just not how things work. In my opinion, Hillary Clinton shouldn't be doing anything to do with politicians. She should not be allowed to have her hand in anything to do with politicians or political things. Right after I started pulling up information on her, I ended up finding a whole slew of people that were highly pissed off about what happened with the funds in Haiti, and I will provide that video as well. Now I have some breaking news for you now. They're so pissed off and they can't accept the fact to this day, and they're not doing anything for the people of America. They're just wasting tax dollars, and they should be accountable as well. If they're not doing their job, they need to be fired. There need to be some new laws so that this obstruction of justice don't happen again. because it's for the people as well, not just the cronies and doing all kind of illegal hijack of the government and all this not providing real news and real information as to what is going on under the rainbow in America. When I visited Europe, that was the first time I ever seen real news. They were talking about what's really going on in America, something they wouldn't dare touch. They're too busy trying to cover up stuff and get away with murder on a regular basis. So right after I pull up Hillary's dirt, they removed it from the page, the proof that I had, one of them. And she just recently went to Inglewood, California to speak there and had her tickets on sale and what have you. She shouldn't be doing any of that. On to breaking news. I just found out that they are going to try and put out information on Dr. Martin Luther King, showing that he allegedly witnessed a rape by another pastor and did nothing, and some other dirt on him. And it was all recorded because, they're sneaky, like they, wired Trump towers, they are sneaky as hell. And they intentionally do that because they don't want nobody in office that's actually going to do good because they're too busy being sleazy. So, yeah, look out for that. They are so slimy that they're willing to do any and everything so that they can win and be on top and do all this shenanigans bullcrap. But not today, not on my watch. We need some real change. And the only way I see it is holding them criminally liable, judges and attorneys, and civilly, because they need to pay financially for the bull crap shenanigans they've been doing. It doesn't make sense that they can just make up lies and do investigations and just carry on the way they've been carrying on for years. It's enough of this. It's enough of it. The funds could be used for way better things. I always wanted to volunteer in Africa and help the needy until I came to Western New York, and I saw the bigger picture. I'm like, these fools ain't even doing anything to fix their own communities that are in distress by a long shot. And I also suspect some other things been going on in Western New York. I am very much a detective, and I be investigating. They sit here and have programs that you're supposed to get your roof fixed, and they'll sit there and start these programs, and as a citizen, you don't get really offered that. I believe they have their own people lined up, and they use all the grant money for themselves. They also, I'm very much under the impression that they have been intentionally burning down houses and collecting money, insurance, on those claims. And they've been doing that for a while. That's what I've seen since I've been here. 9 years. You can't get me to believe that housing company off of Broadway and Fillmore bought that historical building. You ain't gonna get me to believe that I was here these many years. And as soon as you buy it, weeks later, it's burnt down. Come on now. I ain't stupid and I ain't no fool. So they got all kind of sleazy scams and they trying to pull the wolves over my face and stuff, and it ain't happening today. It's just not happening. I'm about sick of it, and I'm fed up, and I'm tired. I also have to clown these fools because Byron Brown is a goddamn joke too. Okay, they got potholes in the streets. They'll have a guy from the city come by with a damn shovel, just dropping the asphalt and taking off. And when you drive your car over it, it's hitting your vehicle, tearing up your nice vehicle if you have a nice vehicle. They just don't give a damn. When I came here and seen that, I was like, I've never seen nothing like this in my life. Like there is an actual machine that have big wheels and it rolls over it, the asphalt, and it smooths it out. They don't they don't do none of that for the people in the ghetto here. It's a sad, sad, sad predicament. And they just raise the taxes and the user fees. They are so, to me, they're so fucked up. They will foreclose on a home within like maybe I don't know, a year. I think it should be at least 3 years or two and a half, something. They don't even give you the opportunity. And then from what the community has spoken out against, they've stated that they feel that they're gentrifying the area. Because with the Buffalo Billions, they had all kind of money, and they did some illegal shit. They had the one company contracted when it's supposed to be bid. You have different companies, and you bid the jobs, evenly spread the job and the wealth and what's going on. But no, not with these folks. Not fucking Andrew Cuomo. Not that son of a bitch. Yeah, I rock Texas too. Cowboy got my Levi's on. Yeah, you're damn right. Texan style, fool. I don't know what the hell, you know. And they at any point can just separate from America because they didn't sign into this bullshit. Now, Byron Brown, along with Andrew Cuomo and all their cronies, spent millions and millions upon millions of dollars on this waterfront project. And I was debating with the young lady or lady, whatever, on the internet and voicing my opinion that, ain't nothing wonderful going on here as far as funds and distributing it and making things nice here. And she gonna tell me, oh, the waterfront is one. Fool, I don't live at the waterfront. And when I went there, it stinks. I don't like the way the damn lake smells. It stinks. It's not freaking enjoyable. And and they have all these like stone rocks build up, and I'm sure that was a part of their budget. That's free from the damn lands. But they gonna claim they spent all this money on, the waterfront. I claim bullshit. It's all bullshit. Baloney. And if she wanted to claim the waterfront, where's this nice high-end restaurant with full glass window Kina style? So if I did want to go there and have a brunch and enjoy myself off the waterfront like I do, then it would have been something like that built. Wasn't nothing built new there. So it's a bunch of baloney. Then they spent all this money at the Martin Luther King Park on some big old fountain, a water feature. I don't know what the hell going on up under the rainbow, but it's mine. And that ain't how it's going to go. Furthermore, he spent all his money on Byron Brown and his posse gang. All this money on fixing, I think, 10 houses. Now, mind you, not one of them 10 houses holds remotely the value in which they invested allegedly in, because I claim they ain't put that kind of money. You can build a whole damn house if you get the right people and let them bid on it for $20,000 if you got a contract going. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to understand what the hell's really going on. So what the hell is really going on? And to top it off, Andrew goddamn Cuomo turns around, and I think he the one stole the damn election, to be honest with you, because I'm with Mark Melanera. That's who the hell I was with, and most of the damn state. But they pick one little town and claim that they won over everybody else. Get a load of that. But yeah, he turned around just recently and decided to give himself a raise, give all the legislation a raise, all the people that change the laws and stuff. I looked that shit up too. Everything on the list, from the person that represents my district, Peoples, everything, majority of it, and it was a whole slew of it. A whole slew of it. It was no new laws at all. They were all old. And they were, for some fucking reason, putting it back on the books to, I don't know, revote it, which don't make any sense to me. I mean, how stupid do you think people are? I mean, you gotta be kidding me. And I'll show you that too. I'm gonna show you the proof of the stupid shit they doing. And they just sitting back getting paid for nothing. If you don't do a job right, you get fired. Just like everybody else. It's simple as that. So with that being said, take heed and start voting these people out. And we need to make sure that they're accountable criminally and civilly. And I asked, where the hell is the FBI on this stuff? And I don't know where the hell they are. I don't know why the fuck we got an FBI. Why the fuck do we have an FBI? If you're not going to do the fucking job that you're supposed to do, what the hell are you here for? Because I'll be damned if I'm going to sit back and watch another stupid ass Bush. How the fuck do you know that they're going to do the attack on September 11th? And coincidentally, the Jewish community, yeah, I said it, the Jewish community knew about it. They wasn't at the Twin Towers. And they allowed for that attack to happen. Them damn people was trained to fly airplanes in America. Y'all need to get your goddamn acts together, and you need to be spying on people that you know are possible threats to this fine, great America with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to give a shout out to Diamond and Silk because they rocked the Trumpness campaign too. And respect our veterans and our army man. I'd like to give a shout out to Tony Sotomore because he's my disciple. Somebody got to check them females because they don't seem to understand how screwed up and messed up they are. And they wonder why nobody want to marry them. I don't blame you, fellas. I wouldn't want to marry him either. And then to see that they are producing more messed up individuals, it's a bit much. It's a bit much. We have enough worries in our community, worrying about getting shot by gang members and what have you. And then worrying about if our sons are going to come into an encounter with an officer that isn't a good one and shoot them and kill them. These are the worries and the concerns in our communities. I thank you for watching my video, and you can subscribe if you like and follow me. And thank you for your undivided attention. Have a wonderful day.